This is next level coffee, people. Hey, good morning. It is a cloudy, cold day here in Payson, Arizona. It's the last day of November 2017. And it is the perfect morning to make some coffee. Now, we all know that there's different levels of coffee. There's everything from your Maxwell House and your Folgers Crystal, right? The stuff that our grandparents drank, up to kind of your more fancy stuff. Some people might consider a mocha frappuccino at Starbucks to be kind of expensive, fancy coffee. And then there's the connoisseurs of coffee. There's the people that really have taken an interest in it, made coffee an important part of their life, and they go to coffee bars where baristas with finely trimmed mustaches will make them a perfect blend of their favorite brew. We're gonna take it beyond even that. We're gonna take it another level. We're gonna give you guys something that you can't get in any coffee shop in the country. We're doing fire roasted coffee beans. So check this out, here we go. Now the first step to making quality coffee is using a quality coffee bean. I like to use the green coffee beans from the Primo's Coffee Company. It's got a lot of great flavor, hits a lot of notes, it roasts really well. You can also just get this on Amazon. I'll put a link below for you guys to check it out. We're only going to be roasting about a half a cup of these green coffee beans. As coffee roasts, it will expand and it will get larger. So a half a cup will actually get you a nice yield. So we're gonna throw a half a cup into our basket, move the coals over, and start roasting. Okay, so this is the basket that we're gonna use to roast our coffee. I got this on Amazon.com. I'll put a link in the description below. It's just a simple roasting basket, but it didn't come with this skewer here. I had to buy this at Home Depot. This is a 1/4 inch threaded skewer. And I just bought four nuts and 4 locking washers. And the skewer, the locking washers, and the nuts cost me about $2.50. And I don't remember what this cost, so I'll post a link for you so you get the right price. We're going to place this over our fire, and we're just going to rotate it by hand. Okay, it's got a nice there's a good paddle, if you can see it, there's a good paddle right there on the inside, and that's going to help keep the coffee moving. We want to try to keep this moving at an even, steady pace, so that's what we're going to do. So let's move the coals over, let's get this thing filled, and let's get some coffee going.
Okay guys, so I am trying to keep the fire going as much as possible. I'm making the hot coals hotter, and I am making a big space for our beans.
So all I'm gonna do is just keep this thing moving. And as coffee cooks, it goes through cycles. There's something called the first crack and the second crack. We're gonna do a medium roast coffee. So we wanna stop cooking this coffee somewhere between the first crack and the second crack. And that'll yield us a nice caramel colored coffee without it being too dark. If it gets too dark, it gets very rich and very strong. So we're just gonna we're listening with our ears and trying to hear when the first crack takes place. And then we're gonna just time it from there. Once we start hearing it crack again, the second crack is a lot more pronounced. It's a lot like popcorn popping in a popcorn maker. It sounds a lot like that. Okay, you can see it starting to change color there. And if you happen to burn a bean or one bean sits on the fire too long, it's no big deal, you can just discard it. All right, so we're just about there. It's almost perfect. Couple more turns. That's it. All right. Okay, so as soon as you pull it off, you want to keep it spinning to cool it, okay? Otherwise it's going to keep cooking and it might go beyond where you want it to be in terms of the flavor profile. Another way you can do this is you could have just like a cookie sheet, and you could set all this out on a cookie sheet and run through it with a wooden spoon. I like to just keep it moving. I've already got it in my hands. All right, so let's take a look at the beans. They look amazing. Check it out. Okay, so now that our beans are all roasted, let's make some coffee. First thing we're gonna do is boil up some water, and then we're gonna do our coffee today in a French press. While the water is boiling, we're gonna go ahead and grind up some coffee. Now, the coffee beans that we just roasted, okay, you don't wanna use those today. You wanna let these beans sit for a couple of days, all right? 24 to 48 hours so they can off gas. If you were to brew this up right now, it would be very bitter. So what I have here is I have some coffee beans, and they're marked from 2 days ago. So these are beans that I roasted over the fire 2 days ago, and we're gonna make that. So what we're gonna do, I have here just a little hand grinder, and I have a scale. Now, you might be wondering, Evan, I thought we're doing outdoor cooking, what's the scale? Just because we're cooking over a fire doesn't mean we're barbarians, okay? We still want to make sure that our coffee is weighed precisely, all right? So, I'm gonna tear my scale, zero it out, and I'm gonna add 25 grams of coffee to the grinder. Okay, now that I've got my 25 grams, put my lid on, and I'm gonna start grinding. Now if you're at home, you can use a coffee grinder. You could use a high-speed blender to do this if you don't have that. But we don't have electricity out here, so we're doing it by hand. I love this though. This is actually my favorite part, is grinding it all down. You start to smell the wonderful aromas. Really cool. All right, so that's it. Take the lid off. See, it's all gone. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our French roast, we're gonna take the press out of it, and we're just going to add our 25 beautiful grams. Oh, so good. I wish you guys could smell how good that smells right now. It's amazing. So we're gonna take our 25 grams of beautiful coffee and we're gonna put them into our French press. All right, let's go check on the water, see if we got a boil. We don't want it rolling boil. We want it actually just a little bit under boiling if you want perfect water for making a lovely cup of brew. Okay, the water's boiling. Let's pull it off and get brewing. Now that I have the coffee ground into my French press and the water has boiled, I'm gonna tear the scale back to zero, and then I'm gonna pour 350 grams of water into the press. I'm not really worried about pouring circles or doing anything fancy getting the water into the French press. I just want to saturate the grounds as quickly as possible. Okay, I got the water in, grounds are saturated. I'm just gonna put the lid back on. That's gonna help retain some of the heat. And I'm gonna let this sit for 4 minutes, okay? I'm gonna set my watch here. Hey Siri, set timer for 4 minutes.
Your timer is set for 4 minutes.
Okay, our 4 minutes is up. It is ready to go. I am just going to lightly press the coffee down All right, I'm not trying to murder it here or strain it. Just give it a little press, nice and light. And then when that's done, you are ready to serve. Oh yeah. Let's go enjoy some coffee. Oh, nice. So good. All right, so that's it. Now you know how to make fire roasted coffee. It's very yummy. You can forget about Starbucks. You can forget about the coffee bean. This is where it's at right here. Fire roasted coffee. So again, we got our little basket here off of Amazon. We put our little stick on it so that we can roast it. You know, the fun thing about this is just playing with it, you know. Try different kinds of beans. Try different lengths of your roast. Maybe go a little lighter one time, go a little darker. Play with it, see what you like, find out what works for you. If you want more consistency, you could do this in your barbecue over, you know, propane heat. I like the smoke. I think it adds a lot to the flavor of the coffee. It'll give you something next level coffee that no one's ever had before, and they'll go, wow, there's something different about this. It's really good, and they're gonna wanna know what it is. It's the smoke. The smoke gives it that extra something. So play with it, have fun with it. Just like a lot of things in life, the more you tinker around, the more you enjoy it. The one thing that I wanna stress is the Ziploc bag, okay? I told you this earlier. Put your freshly roasted coffee beans after they've cooled into a Ziploc bag, and I like to write the date on it. You want this to sit for at least 24 to 48 hours to let the gases escape from the bean. If you brew it within that time, within the 24 to 48 hours, it could be very bitter. So I like to wait at least 2 days. And plus, having it around the house, even in the Ziploc bag, you get a nice aromatic smell. Also, ideally, you want to drink the coffee that you roast within 2 weeks. It's the freshest within that 2-week period. It's gonna taste the best. So roast enough coffee that you know will last you for the 2-week period, so that you'll get the freshest coffee that there is. That's not to say that you couldn't grind this up after 2 weeks. It'll still taste fine, but it's gonna be at its peak within the 2-week period. So small batches are good, unless you drink a lot of coffee. I don't know your lifestyle, man. So hey, so that's all we got. Hope you enjoyed our little video on how to roast coffee over a fire. Just one more thing you can do when in the outdoors. So if you guys are liking these videos and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we sure enjoy making these videos for you. And we also enjoy the results. So I'm gonna finish this off, and then we'll see you later.